America is back.
Highest inflation rate in the U.S. at the pump.
Southern border is collapsing. A climb of COVID infections.
We amplify our power. We summoned a new strength.
This is a recruitment ad.
Should we be embarrassed?
Diplomacy is back.
Now the Taliban are back.
Kabul is not in an imminent threat environment.
The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
They own the whole country now, the Taliban.
The Taliban are now in complete control of Afghanistan.
Complete chaos.
How did President Biden get this so wrong?
Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet.
If this isn't failure, what does failure look like exactly?
Biden, you destroyed not Afghanistan, but the world!
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. Do I bear responsibility? Zero responsibility.
China is ready for friendly relations with the Taliban.
I feel like they're gonna slip in the door and they're the Taliban and they're gonna come in and kill us.
Slow down, everybody.
We have to ask the Taliban for permission for American citizens to leave. True or not true? They are in control.
I can't think of anyone better to lead this operation than
They're just chanting death to America.
And you call yourself the president?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grumpy Snail podcast here at SOB Studios with your host, me, the uncancelable Jonathan Snyder, here again with another rambly podcast. We're just going to be talking about some things. Before we get started, if you like these videos, make sure you click that like button. If you don't like these videos, if there's an unlike button, you can click that one too. I don't really care. Click whatever button you want. If you want to be notified when these videos go up, you can click that subscribe button. Not only do we put up these podcast episodes every Sunday at 12 p.m. noon, we also upload other videos at random times. But usually at 12 p.m. noon. But different days. So, you can do that as well. And make sure that if you feel like it, you can share this video on all your social media platforms. Or, don't do it. I'm here making these videos anyway. We are not sponsored by anybody. We do not make money off this. This is free to you. I guess there's not a whole lot of money in it, so, there's no point. Or profit? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But we'll go ahead and get started with the podcast, right? Okay. Podcast. So, I don't have a bunch of videos to show you this week. We're just going to talk about, what's been going on. Of course, we have the situation in Afghanistan. Right? So, I'm not going to armchair quarterback this anymore. I'm not going to talk about how, this should have been done and that should have been done, and I'm just going to, go ahead and say that it is a screw up and leave it at that. So, a lot of people are upset about it, including, CNN, who's been carrying water for Biden this whole time, even before he was president. So, you can see what the mainstream media, propaganda, wing channel, whatever will do when you end a war. They obviously don't like it when you end wars, no matter how you do it. Because even before we lost Marines and Afghans during this evacuation, I guess we're going to say, it was all bad news no matter where you turn your channel to. But now that there have been casualties in this evacuation, I guess it's going to continue to be bad. The administration, just hopes that this will eventually blow over at some point, I guess. They say that they've launched missiles at the evildoer perpetrators. But I mean, who knows what these people are doing? Who knows who they're launching missiles at and who the casualties are and where? I mean, you don't know. We've been lied into this 20-year war, and so you really have no idea what's going on. But yeah, it's basically been a complete fiasco, not just, within our own country, but there's a lot of backlash coming from our partner countries like, France and England and Germany, because all those countries had, NATO forces there in Afghanistan, and they were not too happy with, the U.S. military actions, and so, the British Parliament has sanctioned, held in contempt, whatever. They've said bad words about Biden, how they're, we can't be trusted as an ally, and we'll never do any more joint military operations while Biden is in office. I would assume that would carry on to Kamala. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm normally an isolationist, so I really don't give a flying fig whatever the England says. But it seems like, everybody else cares about this. So, they're really worried. They're worried about what the optics are to our enemies, whether that be China, who, shares a border with Afghanistan, and who, means to profit off us not being there anymore. Which, I mean, it didn't matter whether we were there or not. They were, they were doing mining, copper and lithium and whatever else. And of course, Russia, so now, they're Russia's eyeing Crimea or whatever, and, China wants to invade Taiwan and all that stuff. I mean, who really knows? That's the whole news cycle has been crazy. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't trust any information that I get from anybody. I'm disagreeing with like everybody that I listen to, all these podcasts that I watch, all these conservative commentators, liberal commentators, anywhere in between, libertarian. It doesn't matter. I'm just like this. I just don't know anymore. I'm totally confused. I feel like I just want to haul off out into the woods and be away from everything, because it's I really have no idea what information I'm getting is correct, who I'm supposed to trust. I just don't know. So, I guess we're pulling out of Afghanistan. We're still in the process after everything so far. The deadline is Tuesday. We're leaving behind U.S. civilians and a lot of Afghans that appear to have the right to not only leave Afghanistan, but to come to this country. I think, service guarantees citizenship. If you're over in Afghanistan and you've spent 20 years helping us fight terrorists or whatever, then, I mean, you have a right to come here and be free, just like the rest of us. I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't know how anybody else sees it. But, that's neither here or there. We'll see if there's, some ransoming or whatever. I believe that the State Department has made a lot of oopsie daisies, in the past 2 weeks. We'll see what happens from here. Who knows? It's really It's really such a mess. But remember that, not only is this, fiasco in Afghanistan taking place, I want you to continue to remember that that's not the only country we're in. We have troops scattered all over the Middle East over there, all over Africa. There's like 900 troops in Syria, that Joe Biden lied about, said that there wasn't, but they're there. So remember that we are also in other places as well. It's funny that one of Joe Biden's reasons for pulling out of Afghanistan was because that we have that over the horizon capability of stopping terrorist attacks from happening, and we couldn't stop a terrorist attack in the country we were in. We couldn't stop it. It happened. Maybe it was because we partnered with terrorists. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because we've spent decades and decades making enemies of these individuals in the Middle East. I guess it'll be up to us to learn from all those mistakes. It'll be up to millennials and the Zoomers to take a look at the events, the actions of the U.S. and the military-industrial complex, and how those actions have affected the people in that region of the world, and how, because of that, we've had to suffer consequences. Also remember that there are bad things still happening here in this country as well. The inflation, was 5.2%, 5 point whatever percent, and going up. I don't know what August numbers will be, but they've gone up every month since Joe Biden's been in office. So they're Congress and whoever else, they're really fighting over this infrastructure slash reconciliation bill, which is, it's really weird because there are two bills. There's two bills, about $5 trillion worth of stuff they're trying to get passed. But, everybody's saying, we're not going to pass this one bill unless we pass this other bill. It's really weird because that was one bill, and then they split them up into an infrastructure and reconciliation bill. But both of the groups of people that support one bill or the other are saying that they won't vote on the other bill unless they vote on this bill. So they're requiring that both bills be voted on at the same time. Where can you look? Where can you look where there's not a fiasco going on? Think about it. So, let's go ahead and get Andrew Cuomo out of the way. So, Andrew Cuomo resigned this past week, and the interim governor or whoever came out, he's the governor of New York now, came out and stated that the numbers of COVID deaths in New York had been off by like 12,000 or so. So, surprise! Like we didn't know that, duh. How many times we've been saying it? They took back Andrew Cuomo's Emmy that they gave him. All these Cuomo sucking people have egg on their face. Every single celebrity and media person that was like, Cuomo is the best, blah, blah. Gross. You're all gross. Yeah. he's not the only governor. Governor Newsom is facing this recall election. I really dislike Newsom for a lot of reasons, but this whole thing is up to California to decide whether they want to keep the same crappy, policies that they've had there, or do they want to elect somebody else that's going to enact different policies? It's up to California. They can elect whatever representation they want. This is America. And so one thing I do recommend, though, California, after this whole recall election, I really strongly suggest that you do something about this recall election process, because the plurality of whoever, if Newsom is recalled, which, it's been real tight the whole time, if he is recalled, a plurality is gonna, elect the next person. And it could just be 5% of California's population. And that is a terrible, terrible way to elect somebody. So I think you should definitely, I think Republicans and Democrats should get together on this one in California and fix that recall election thing. I think it's fine to have recall elections. Maybe more states should do that, because I think there's only a select few that actually do that. Or maybe there isn't. I don't know. I'm not up onto the recall election stuff, but definitely you got to fix that. You can't have 10%, 5%. You can't have a small plurality of people voting for your governors. That's crazy. That's insane. I don't care if it's a libertarian perfect guy that's going to completely get rid of the whole entire government of California. You really should not. I'm not an justify the means type person. You guys in California gotta fix that, okay? Whether you keep Newsom or not. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Don't forget, the immigration is, a problem. Still, we're up to 1.2, 1.3 million, 1.5 million so far this year. There's been a real issue with this whole Afghanistan refugee thing, where the State Department blocked a lot of people getting out of Afghanistan, not even coming to this country, but trying to get to other countries that would take them from Afghanistan. It still seems like the U.S. State Department was blocking those people getting out. A lot of people were safe inside the airport, ready to take off, and just got shoved back out into Kabul in amongst all the beautiful Taliban people who will be chopping people's heads off. But, or maybe they won't be chopping people's heads off. Maybe they'll be mowing them down with all the M4s that we gave them. But, we need to fix this immigration thing, okay? Because it's a problem. Like the whole California thing, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, we gotta fix the immigration problem. Okay? And a wall thing is not the answer. It can be part of the answer, but a wall is not the answer. So yeah, that just needs that. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to armchair quarterback this thing, except for the fact that I'm going to sit here and point out all the problems that are still going on that nobody seems to be doing anything about. One thing I do want to say something about is this trip to Vietnam or wherever that Kamala went on while all this nonsense was going down in Afghanistan. I think that was terrible optics. I don't know whose decision that was, but it was a bad idea. And then there's these reports of this attack I don't remember. I only heard one news report about it, but you guys have to look it up. There was supposedly some sort of attack with some sort of specialized weapon or something. So whatever that is, as much as I dislike an administration, if anybody is going to take out an administration, it should be us and not some other country. So another country shouldn't be meddling in the U.S. business, just like the U.S. shouldn't be meddling in their business. This critical race praxis issue in the schools is, a real big problem still. Especially with, schools starting up. I mean, there's a couple issues with the schools starting up. The critical race praxis, we played the video last week of the school in Georgia that's splitting up white kids and black kids in different classes. That's messed up. I don't care who you are that's messed up. I thought we got rid of the segregation issue back in the 60s. I mean, Kamala made a big deal about it during her, campaign, so maybe it wasn't a good thing. But that probably shouldn't be going on. There's the mask mandate, kids and all that stuff. The point is that parents have responsibility to their kids, and if you're gonna send your kid to school, you should know what they're teaching them at school, and if it's not correct, to correct it. If you can, homeschool your kids and actually teach them stuff. A lot of even like, let's forget the vaccination and mask mandate and the critical race stuff. A lot of kids in public school aren't getting the education that they need. I mean, that was happening when I was in school. It just didn't happen. You either have kids that need special attention, or you have kids that have to sit through the special attention time and, get left behind with the other students. And it's really not, kids need to be educated with as much as they possibly can. I know that that a lot of Democrats and liberal policy, they think that people should just go to school more, which is why they put in their, I can't remember if it's, I think it's in the reconciliation bill, but it's possible that it's in the infrastructure bill. I don't remember, because everything's infrastructure. So I think it's in the infrastructure bill, to be honest. I really think it's in the infrastructure bill, where they have the preschool and the 2 years of community college free. I'm pretty sure that's in the infrastructure bill. So, like I said, they think that you should go to school more. I think efficiency is the key. But, I mean, 6 in one, half a dozen the other. It's, education has always been an issue, and we're just trying to figure out the best way to approach it. I guess with I feel like, as long as I can remember, we've had all these issues, and none of them have been fixed, no matter who gets elected into political office. So it kind of makes it seem like the whole politic issue is futile, no matter who is running or who's doing it. I mean, I guess people could have the argument that it's Democrats and Republicans are screwing it up, and maybe the other would be better. I don't know. I don't think that's true, but like I said, it's whatever. There's this whole thing about the January 6th commission still going on. they're putting people on lists now. They're going out and telling all the social media people. They're getting all that information from people and just random people. They're subpoenaing. Is that a word? Subpoena? What is the proper tense of that word? So they're giving out subpoenas for what appear to be just random people. I really thought a lot could be gotten out of this January 6th thing, but I mean, it really doesn't seem like it. I mean, it's going to be going on this is going to be stretched out till the midterm so that you don't forget it. So I think it's a waste of time at this point. But I mean, a lot of media people are talking about how the Dems are basically screwed for midterms. So, you know, they would want to drag this out as long as possible so that they have, you know, dirt to talk about Republicans, which, you know, that if people just had, you know, longer than goldfish memories, you wouldn't need to drag stuff out. You would just remember. But that's obviously not the case. COVID is a problem. If you didn't know, it's, you know, I don't see it not being a problem ever in the foreseeable future. Some people get that, and some people like Australia do not get that. They're plumb crazy out there in Australia. Everybody's locked down in their homes and have been forever. They're arresting people, giving them $1,000 fines for being outside their homes. They're locking them up. They're pepper spraying little kids. They're building concentration camps. I thought at this point, after all the problems we've had with concentration camps, that we would have learned our lesson. But no, everybody's got to have their concentration camps to put the others in. So, you know, it's only a matter of time before we're building them again. Only a matter of time. I mean, maybe they're already there. We were sticking a bunch of Mexicans in them, right? So, they'll probably just be repurposed. The mandates are a mess. Mandates aren't going to work. And I'll tell you why. They're not going to work. Not because, and I'm not even going to take the anti-vax. We're not even going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about how the vax mandates aren't going to work on the mandate principle. The principle of the mandate. There is a certain percentage of the population that cannot get this vaccine. They have certain medical conditions, such as, you know, cancer, or they have organ failure of some kind, or they have an immunocompromised situation. There's a lot of different diseases that are involved with that. So they cannot get the vaccine no matter what. They can't get it. They cannot, because it'll kill them. They will be dead. Not because the vaccine's bad, but because they have a health situation in which they get some vaccine, it'll kill them. Okay? So, I don't know what that percentage of the population is. I don't know if it's 5% or 1% or 10%. I don't know. I just know that there's a certain amount of the population that cannot take the vaccine. We've always known that. We've always known that we couldn't be at 100%. Maybe some people don't know that because they're dumb. But people who aren't dumb know that. So, maybe there'll be some what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe there'll be some, something where the health people want to get it. But in New York, exemption, that's where I was looking for. Maybe there'll be some health exemption where these people that have these health issues don't have to get, aren't mandated to get the vaccine. But in New York, there is no health exemption. These people that cannot get the vaccine cannot leave their house to go anywhere because they aren't allowed. So, 1 strike. 2, there is a certain set of population, I don't know what it is. It could be 30%, it could be 10%, I don't know. But there is some group, some amount of people that will not ever get this vaccine no matter what. You can't reason with them. You can't talk to them. You can't trick them into anything. They're not taking this. No matter whether you tell them you can't go anywhere, they can't work anywhere, they can't do anything, they will not get it. So, those people will not be involved in society. So, in New York, I'm not sure if this is, I think it's New York City. It's just New York City. In New York City, there was a large percentage of black people and Latino or Hispanic people that have not gotten this vaccine. So this mandate is racist because this law, this mandate, impacts races differently. And according to Ibram X. Kendi, that's racist law. So according to Ibram X. Kendi, this law is racist. Those people will not be able to participate in society. There are people leaving industries. Nurses and doctors are refusing to get this vaccine. Truckers are refusing to get this vaccine. Policemen in Chicago are refusing to get this vaccine. They are going to walk out. How can you run a society when there's a certain population that will not take this vaccine? Regardless of safety or whatever. I know there's a certain amount of you people that just want to round up all those people and stick them in their concentration camps. Okay. I mean, that's an option. I don't know if it'll work. Biden thought he could pull out of Afghanistan without any casualties. I don't know. But what I do know is this whole misinformation thing is a mess. It's a complete mess. Shouldn't be logging into social media sites and seeing the CDC information fact check and being told that the CDC is spreading fake news and misinformation. I thought you all were for the CDC. I don't get it. Who am I supposed to trust? I don't know who to trust. I don't know what information I'm supposed to trust anymore. Just walk around all confused all the time. With that, remember our reading recommendation from last week, Fool's Errand, Scott Horton. If you have questions about Afghanistan, they're here in this book. Pick up your copy today. It's not quite up to date. It's about 3 or 4 years behind. And, information's constantly changing, considering we're pulling out. So, with that, I hope you all have a nice rest of your weekend. We're coming up on the end of summer. We got Labor Day weekend next week. So, hope you all, got your picnics and all that stuff planned for an exciting time. Yeah, and that's it. So, until next weekend, cheers, ladies and gentlemen, and Godspeed.